Good morning.
Good morning. It's
How
good to
are
be
you?
back.
How are you today, Jimmy?
Doing great. Yeah, doing real good.
All right. This is DadSchooled podcast, and we have a fun topic today. It is going to be over. Do dads need friends?
Debatable, right?
Debatable. Yeah. I mean, good friends, yes. Do we have to
Yeah.
have friends? Well, let's find out. Maybe we do. Maybe we didn't know that all along. All you lone dogs out there are about ready to have your world turned upside down.
I hope so.
That sounds weird, saying I'm gonna turn someone's world upside down, especially with a
That's what we're
lone.
here for, though.
He's a lone dog.
Yeah.
This is yeah. Why brotherhood? Brotherhood matters, and um, I don't know. It's an eye opening conversation. I think I've never thought about. Do I really need a friend? Like I don't know if I personally. I don't know if I've ever been to that point in my life where I don't want any friends. Maybe that's another thing too. Like you ever feel like you don't want friends, Jimmy?
Um, I've always been that sort of uh, how exactly to put it. The only a few friends, but super deep. So like
Mm,
an inch wide, a mile deep. I guess is
yeah,
how you could say that. Where I've got a circle of people that I'm closer to that I get really, really deep, meaningful relationship with. And then I've got a lot of people on the fringe that are really good acquaintances and decent friends, but then there's a handful of guys that are, you know what, we've been through some stuff over the years, and even if I haven't talked to them in a few years or a while, if we reconnected, we'd pick right back up where we left off, and immediately that depth is still there.
yeah.
So that's kind of how I've usually rolled through life.
And I guess just to clarify the topic of do dads need friends? Okay, we're not talking about I don't know, let's get sappy here for a second. Your wife or your significant other, girlfriend? No, dads need. This is I'm not gonna say boyfriend, but dads need friends, right? Um, guy friends. It's
We
okay.
need brotherhood.
Brotherhood,
That's what we're
yes.
getting. That's what we're getting to.
Brohood, brotherhood, not
Yeah.
just like your
Uh-huh.
your biological sibling brother. We're talking about the term used to represent friendship between guys. You're my bro, right?
Right.
Yeah, use
Yeah.
quotes, bro.
Yeah. You don't
So
have
yeah,
to.
like, I mean, I consider my wife my best friend, as sappy as that sounds. But
Mhm.
I have gone through life with, I guess, on the guy front, I've gone through my life with, like you said, a couple deep friends, and they've changed over the years. Some have waned away, and some have come back, and some have not, and some have gone back and forth. Um, there's been times in my life where I felt like my close friends that I really would like to be close with, and I considered my whatever I need, they're there. I might myself, I don't know if this is the fault for me, I felt not as close to them as I needed to be or as I wanted to be. And then it's harder. Like, who do I go tell things to? Who do I send this funny meme to? Who do I hang out with? It's really concerning things for me personally. Like, if I can't bounce something off of somebody else, or if I'm having a rough day and it's like, man, today stinks, I need to vent to something, other than my wife, who's in a may or may, she's great, but she can't connect on a bro level, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And, I feel super blessed. Me and my wife, we consider each other our best friends as well. We have a great relationship, but you need, men need still those other relationships with other men, um, outside of their marriage, other guys that they're able to have those deep points of contact, that it feeds a different part of the soul than what your spouse is able to do, and that's okay. Men and women are wired differently, from the glory of God's creation. This is how He put us together, and that's not something to feel bad about or feel like oh gosh, I wish we were just exactly the same, me and my spouse. Like, no, you guys are different, and there's needs in becoming who you're meant to be, that only being in contact with another strong a man of strong character is going to draw that out of you, whether it's another mentor or just a really good buddy, or maybe you've even gotten to the point in your journey you've got a son of your own, and you're getting to share in a lot of the same hobbies or interests, and going out and sharing in that thing that makes you really feel like you come alive, and getting to share that with your son. Maybe that's where you get to be in your journey right now. But those points of impact are incredibly important in order for you to really feel like you're becoming yourself.
That's a really good point though about good character. Because how many times in your life have you had a so-called friend that leads you down the wrong path? And it's because, I don't know, maybe this is an eye-opening moment for somebody else. If you have never had anybody has led you down the wrong path, maybe you're the one leading people the wrong path. But it's important to have people that you consider to, like you said, a good Christian, godly, uh, great character leader is always a good thing. You don't always have to have a leader you are friends with, or you have to like stack your deck of friends to have a certain characteristics. But you should always be trying to align yourself with like-minded people and of the same biblical foundation, worldview foundations. I mean, yes, you can have friends that are completely left field from where you're at, but it's healthier for you. It really is, to be encouraged by like-minded people. Because if you have people who are telling you to do the wrong thing all the time, or they're always telling you about their crazy exploits of drunkenness and crazy this, crazy that, they got away with this again. I treated my wife this way and she's so mad at me. Oh, it sucks, because I'm so terrible of a dad too. That's not a good person to be around. You can encourage people and lift people up, but you need to make sure your core group of guys that you soak up life from like a sponge and you grow together, it needs to be good people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see how easy it is, absolutely, to fall into that trap of, I got some spare time and I want to hang out with someone that I know I'm going to have fun with, and you end up, picking someone that gives you those distractions, gives you those stumbling blocks that end up diverting your own path, and you look back at those times in regret, like, I should have been hanging out with someone else. That wasn't that wasn't something that built me up, or I can absolutely see how that is a trap that a lot of men, how easy it is to fall into that. And it really does become a conscious choice that you have to think about. Okay, who have I surrounded myself with? Who's available to me? What do they have going on in their life that, is there something I can learn from them? And it is a conscious decision, oftentimes. Sometimes you're super blessed that you just fall into a relationship that you didn't plan. You didn't seem to do anything to make it happen. And you look back and you're like, man, that really helped develop me. That had a huge impact on me when you look back. But a lot of times you got to think through, okay, I want to hang out with someone. I've got some plans. I'm going to go out and do, tickets to a concert or something. I don't know, but who am I going to bring with me? You gotta think about it. You're going to want to not just have fun, but something that's not going to tear you down.
Yeah. You want fun and godly Eddie, not, I don't have another name. Bad somebody. I probably should have thought that one out before I started talking.
It's all good.
But you're right. We're called to come alongside fellow man. We're called to sharpen each other. I mean, Proverbs 27:17, as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another. We are called to keep each other in check. We're called to uplift each other, keep each other accountable, and all those things happen in a healthy friendship, not a combative only on Sunday mornings of read your Bible, blah 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 blah. It's life. You going through life together. You're reminding each other on the daily or every other day or every 5 seconds. Are you in the Word today? What can I help pray for you about? Do you need anything? Let's go. How about this? You're in those chats with your friends on your phone, and somebody reaches out and says, "Hey, I need help moving," and everyone in the whole group is like, "Oh, silent, crickets. No one wants to say." Be that friend. Hey, get some guys together. Go help this person. Do things together as as community. It's good encouragement because other guys see that and they will be like, yeah, I should be a better person. And this person with this one moment that was, stronger character than I was, helped lift me up to think that I should improve myself. So you have a big impact on people around you, and you need to make sure you surround your people with like-minded people and men who challenge and encourage each other.
Yeah, I've always loved the Proverbs 27:17 verse and about iron sharpening iron, and I think it has in a lot of times turned into almost that it's almost turned into its own cliche for us, in particular men's ministries in a lot of churches. How many men's ministries across the United States are called The Forge?
Yeah, I've been in one.
There you go. Yeah. So it's that imagery of the sword on the anvil getting hammered out and becoming something sharp. Like that invokes something that's exciting to men. But at the same time, here's the thing about how this verse is written is how as iron sharpens iron, another man sharpens another. The thing that I think from my experience, what I've been a part of personally and what I've seen in a lot of other places with men's ministry, what the verse is saying is you got two pieces of iron, and in order for them to actually sharpen each other, they have to come within contact with one another. If I've got a piece over here and a piece over here and they're just doing their own thing, there's no sharpening happening. So I've been to a lot of men's breakfasts and other men's kind of events where it's already so scripted. It's come in and listen to speaker give a speech and then punch your man card, go home, or come in and you eat breakfast and we might pray, which is great. And then you punch your man card and you go home. But how much time is actually available for men to be in contact with one another? There's not a whole lot. It's come in and let us entertain you, and then we send you on your way.
They have their
but
purpose.
The idea of this,
they have their purpose.
They have their purpose. They can have their purpose, absolutely. And I enjoy a really, really good unhealthy breakfast as much as anybody else. Like that's a favorite highlight. Yeah. But in order for this verse to really play out, and when you think about those relationships in your life, like, okay, I've got this brother of mine that he's there for me, and I know I'm there for him. How that stands out to you, you can look back at those times in your life. You know what? We were in contact and we were wrestling through something tough. We had to dig deep, and through that experience of working together, problem solving, lifting each other up, that caused each of us to get sharpened. And maybe we got to have breakfast while we were in the middle of all of that. Cool. But that's what the idea of this verse is trying to get into, is that you got to have that contact. You got to have those moments of actually digging into life with one another, and setting those events on a calendar can help springboard that. But there's so many men that go to men's events and like, well, I go to the breakfast and I went to the once a quarter Bible study, listen to a special speaker, and I'm just not getting anything out of it. I don't feel like anything's working for me. Then you need to figure out how to lean on not just an event on the calendar, but how to lean into getting in contact with another man, digging into actual shared life events where you're having to work through a problem. And that's where that sharpening really, really takes off.
Yeah. I think back to a second. I think back to my, I'm not gonna say my origin story, but my testimonial of, hey, this is me becoming a Christian. Before I was a Christian, and when I was still questioning everything, I was a probably a terrible, but in my opinion, a strong atheist. Um, I had a individual, a guy friend who I play video games with, and it was a friend of the a family per se because my wife grew up with his wife, and they were besties. And then when they got married, saw a lot of them, and he was a great individual, very godly man, um, very patient with me at least. I know he probably would say he's not patient at all, but he poured into me. I mean, him and the whole church community that he was a part of poured into me, but he definitely took my texts. He answered my questions that were meant hurtfully. You know, I intentionally would try to trip him up on Bible quiz and Bible trivia because I thought I was a big bad atheist. I think I knew everything. So I would send him messages, and he'd be like, "Ah, it's a great question. Let me get back with you." And he'd do some research, probably talk to his pastor, I believe, and other godly people, and get the best way to approach this. And then he'd come back, and he'd answer my question, and I'd be like, "Oh, great! Here's another well unthought out question. I've thrown something else at him," and he'd research it and come back to me. But he was patient, and he took the time. I remember standing in someone's kitchen. I think it was his kitchen for hours with my family, well, my family, my wife and his wife at the time, um, and we just talked about different questions I had, and it wasn't because they were, intentionally trying to check mark a box on their list of good things to do in this life. They legit cared for me and my future in eternity, and that type of brotherly love is who you need to find. It's rare. I don't know. Maybe it's not rare, but for me, I never had someone that invested in me. That wasn't my own family ever. So it was eye opening. Hey, there's something to this Christianity thing. If this person takes, either he's really weird, or there's something to this, and that was like a very big pushing action for me to consider, digging in more and researching, taking things seriously. Was somebody taking the time to, just love on me that way?
It's the beauty of how uh, God wrote this whole Christian story. That it's a big piece of it is this reciprocal selflessness of um, taking those times where I need to pour into someone else and put myself last, putting others first instead of
Mm-hmm.
myself. And we're taught to do that. And when you find another man out there who's willing to be there and do that for you in a time of need, and he's willing to walk alongside you, like I love that story of that friend that took all those texts. I know a lot of men in my life that if they had been receiving those texts, they'd be out showing them, look at this guy
Yeah.
and what he thinks and that sort of stuff. But no, he selflessly took his time out of his own life, out of his own day, to see, what, here's someone who's got a need, and I have an opportunity, I have a position that I can pour into him, not knowing the outcome, if you were going to come alive in Christ or not. He still saw that opportunity, and he was willing to pour into you and do that reciprocating selflessness that I feel like we're really called to be. But how many other men? Every choice that they make is just all about the selfish moment,
Yes.
living. YOLO. I'm gonna live every life to the moment, and I'm gonna grab life by the horns. I'm gonna just live life to the full.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't matter who I knock down along the way.
Yeah.
And you
Money,
can have a
power, all
full,
those things.
yeah, you can have a full life. Um, but it's who's with you along that journey. That's what really matters.
Yeah, because let's just face it, in 80 years, or fill in the blank to how much you think you have left in life, um, Is
I have 80 years
yeah,
left.
80. Is a smoking hot wife, is a lifted pickup truck with mud tires on it, is a boat, a bass boat, any kind of boat in the garage, an RV, a camper, whatever your treasure in this life is that the important thing? Probably not. That's going to go away in 80-ish years. It could be just tomorrow. It could be destroyed by a tornado, fresh out of this winter, uncharacteristically for this
Right.
area. A tornado could just ruin everything.
Those, those crazy February tornadoes.
It's crazy. Uh, but if that happens, like, well, all that effort you had, woe is you for your loss of every earthly thing you had, but then you have no friends still because you didn't take the time to do that. You need to grab onto the important things, which is, family, faith, God. Well, let's reorder that correctly so I don't sound bad. The important things: God, family, friendship,
Right. Friendship.
lasting,
Yeah.
meaningful friendship. Um, you were saying before reciprocal dad. That sounds like a great T-shirt idea, like a reciprocating saw with dad on it, and then
Reciprocating saw
the
with, yeah.
teeth have
Yeah.
like faith and other things written on the blade. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like instead of
That sounds
DeWalt
fun.
on the side, have a yellow one, and instead of DeWalt or whatever flavor you're because dads are usually one flavor tools. Um,
Uh-huh.
Obviously I'm DeWalt, but it's okay. I respect the other ones as well, as long as they're not like no name China brands. But have like dad there instead in that text. It'd be kind of cool.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm a Ryobi because
Roby.
that's what's affordable.
I find the same thing. It's like I think I might have a Makita. I have a Makita router. No, I have a Bosch router, but I have a Makita like circular saw or no, circular sander. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's funny because like whatever's on sale at the moment, I'm trying to get. But like my core tool set is DeWalt, and it is 11, almost 12 years old, maybe 13 years old, because I got it way back in my first house when I was finishing my basement, and my dad got it for me as a gift for Christmas to help me finish my basement. So I remember those tools, and they're old and they still work.
Well, that's the amazing thing about my tools is that they're almost like they're brand new because
Yeah, that you
I've
just get
hardly
used
ever
to.
used them.
Wow, your wife right now is
Yeah.
like, all these project lists
So we've
pulling
done
out.
some cool we've done some cool projects.
Yeah, I have a lot of projects still to do.
Oh yeah. Oh, it doesn't stop.
No,
Doesn't stop.
no, and and the more projects I have, the more tools I can get to not
That you
use on
get to
those
get.
projects.
Uh-huh.
All right. So yeah, that was a reciprocating thing. Sorry, I was thinking of that when you were talking. So
I like it.
question to ask yourself: who is sharpening you? Who are you being graded against to sharpen and enhance your skills? Who are you leveling up with? Is it a is it someone that you'd be proud to be like them? Because that's who you should be. Like we shouldn't be trying to copy each other, but we shouldn't be hanging out with people and doing things with people that we don't want to become. Because their actions rub off on us, and our actions rub off on them. So you gotta be careful that you don't have the mentality of I'm going to save the world and hang out only with people of poor character because it goes both ways. If you hang out with somebody who is struggling a lot and you're trying to pour into them, that's good. That's a good thing. We're encouraging that, but you got to make sure your main, I can't say main squeeze because that sounds really not
Yeah, don't.
not good. um, your main source of encouragement and your foundation of friendship does not come from this person who is um, struggling. It sounds bad too saying it that way, but it's I guess the ideal situation, the healthy situation would be to have a good set of strong friends that aren't struggling. I guess we can't always
Yeah.
pick our friends who are struggling or not. Like, can't be friends with you because you're going through issues. But
Hmm.
that'd be kind of mean in some ways. But you should definitely try to align yourself once again with people who you wouldn't mind kind of mimicking their behaviors because that's what we're encouraged to do. Rub off on each other like that.
Mhm.
Man, I'm saying the wrong things today.
That's all good. You're good. I mean, that could be one of the challenges that a lot of men feel like is what's right in front of them is how do I even if you're looking and taking assessment of your life and realizing I don't have a guy like that in my life. I don't have someone that I can be transparent, open, and who's not going to make fun of me and who's not going to drag me down. Someone who's going to encourage me and help build me up into the best version of myself. Like that can be hard to find. And a lot of men, I fear, go through their entire life maybe only having one, and quite possibly not ever having one deep friend that they feel like has their back.
Yeah.
Um,
But you said make fun
and
of you. I want to clarify, like a
yeah,
healthy level of chiding each other is good. It's what
is
guys do.
mandatory.
Yes, you have
Yeah,
to give someone a hard time, and you have to learn to have someone give you trouble on something because you can't go through life everyone saying, "Good job, Jimmy. You did so good." That's not
yeah,
no. It's like, "Jimmy, that was the dumbest thing I think you could have possibly done."
yeah. Right.
That's
Yes.
valid feedback. And if
That's
if you did something dumb, you should expect me to be like, "Hey, Jimmy, remember that one time you did this?" And you're like, "Yes, I remember that." Because that's what friends do. They remind each other of our failures in a
right.
positive, uplifting way, so you don't make the same mistake.
Yeah, that's right. And if you're having a hard time thinking of who's that guy in my life, I mean, scroll through your phone for just like 5 minutes and who's the one that you share the craziest memes with. That's probably the person that you have the most in common, and your brains are, similarly aligned, and there's maybe something there that can be fed. Now, if the memes that you're sharing are insanely crass and that's what your entire
Inappropriate.
relationship, yeah, that's what your entire relationship is built around, then maybe steer into a different direction. Um, but no, if there's a guy that you're like, we laugh at the same things, we have the same kind of goals and things that we drive for, hobbies or whatever. That's a great starting place. And even outside of that, if you're still finding, I just don't have any guys in my life that I feel like I can really be open, have them pour into me, challenge me, push me, knowing that I can do that back with them, pour into them, and help push and challenge them. Then take assessment of what are the routines in your life. Where are you spending your time? Where do you spend your free time? Are you involved in church? I mean, it's a great place to start. Um, some of my best friends that I have, that just over the years we've had the deepest friendships, relationships, hours on the phone, dealing with going through whatever's going on in life, are just husbands of some of my wife's friends that like, oh, I've got this new girlfriend that I've met, and we're wanting to get our whole family together and do a game night. We're going to do a date night. And I always like drag my feet. I'm like, oh, another couple, that's the initial thought. And I hate that that's like the initial thought in my head.
Don't you
And then
love
we
that
get together.
initial contact? Like, this is Josh, and you're like, "Hi, Josh.
Yeah.
We're supposed
Yeah.
to
It's
talk."
like, when your mom would bring you over to another family's house and like, well, they have a son that's close to your age. You're like, hi, I'm Jimmy.
Hi.
And then like 10 minutes later, you're out in the backyard digging holes to China and having the time of your life. Yeah. Or you're beating each other up, one of the two. But yeah, like going to game nights or whatever, and by the end of the night, I'm like, I like this guy, and we exchange numbers, and then over a few years later, we've had some crazy adventures of our own. Like those are some of my best friends have come through that sort of scenario.
Yeah, and I guess let's go over the proper etiquette, Jimmy. For
Oh no.
so when is it appropriate to ask another dude for his phone number? How do you go about doing that?
I asked my wife, hey, can your friend send me his number?
So you don't actually like ask the guy yourself. You're not like, "Hey,
Maybe
let
it's
me get
like,
your
oh no,
contact."
this is the easy one. Like, I thought of this really funny meme. I need to send it to you. What's your number so I
There
can
you
send
go.
it to you? And that's how
I
you get the
like
number.
that. That's good.
Yeah,
I'm usually
yeah.
the opposite end. I'm like, "Hey, if I want to send you something, can I have your phone number?" while holding eye contact with them, like, "Hey, can I have your
Uh
number?"
huh. Do you reach out for their hand and
Yeah. Or you don't even give them an opportunity to say no. You just pull up your contacts on your phone and you have it on
you
the
just go,
add
"What's your
contact.
number?"
No, you have it on the add contact and you hand it to them and say, "Hey, could you put your information in
Yes,
here?"
that's the
And they're
alpha
like,
move right there.
yeah, it's fine. I actually do that a lot. I know people
I'm
don't want to
trying to
give me their
think.
number.
I'm trying to think through if that's how you got my number or not, but I don't remember. It might be.
I think we were in
Probably.
life group at church and I just like,
I
"Hey,
think so.
put your contacts in case I need to send you something randomly
That's
out of
right.
nowhere." So yeah, that was but okay, so inappropriate ways to send a dad your number is just to what? Never ask, never talk to him. Maybe meet him one time, and then request friendship on Facebook and send him a messenger request and say, "Hey, let's hang out." Is that too soon, or should you ease yourself in there a little smoother?
You see the guy filling up gas at the gas station that has a Star Wars sticker on the back of his
Yeah,
car. So you walk up to him like, "Hey, I like your sticker.
yeah.
Can
Or
I
you
have your
give some
number?"
innocuous Star Wars quote to him and see if you can actually complete it. Like, "Well,
Right.
hello there," and see what he says back. And if he says Kenobi, then you know you guys can be besties. If he doesn't, you can just walk away right there, and that's just an awkward hello.
It was. Yes.
All right, so we've covered that you should call on each other to be sharpened. You should hang out with people like you. Wait a minute. So is that if we're called to be with each other, be with friends? Does that mean isolation is dangerous? Does that mean that you shouldn't be alone? Is that what we're saying then?
Yeah. I mean, I would think so. I think some of those the worst and saddest moments in life sometimes come out of when you're in isolation, when uh, you start believing all those lies
Mm,
about what your identity is, who you think you are, the things that you struggle with, the things that seem to knock you down all the time. And you're like, that's just who I am, and that's just what I do. And when you're in isolation, and the only voice of feedback that you're getting is that one in your head that just tears you down on and on
yes.
and on and on. Yeah, isolation is a dangerous place, and it's having those other people in your life. Your spouse, hopefully, would be one of those positive voices. But anytime you can have another voice outside of that that speaks against those lies and those things that just tear you down. You got to get out of that isolation. You got to go to that men's breakfast. You got to go eat that biscuits and gravy
I give that stranger your phone number.
and get, yes.
So I do have a very close friend that I have been through a lot with over the years. He's a regular attender of my uh, game nights that I host in my house. He is the worst at this. He is like his fault is that he always is self loathing. He is always woe is me. That's a bad way to say that. He's always hard on himself, and
Yeah.
everything is just like the worst. It's his fault. He's waiting for the next bad thing to happen to him,
Mm.
and it tears my heart out hearing that. He's a great dude, very strong in his convictions, and he has that. And we all struggle with something. A person who is very, physically strong looking, holds himself in a conversation and in life like a man. Is a man's man. That sounds weird too. Can't say that. He's he is just an upstanding dude, but he has a struggle and it's inside. And if he does not reach out to somebody, luckily his wife is very godly and is right there with him, helping him all the time. He has a great church family he's a part of, a lot of good friends in that group. If he doesn't reach out for a while, I gotta worry for him. Sometimes I gotta reach out to him and be like, hey, you haven't heard from me in a while. How you still doing okay? And sometimes it's yes, sometimes it's no. But I need to be better about that as well, of staying in touch with all these different people. And some people just need you to. They don't say they want you to. They don't want you to check up on them, but you need to check up on people. Like you need to be
Mhm.
there. because someone else who has these characteristics of, I can't do anything right, I'm waiting for the next bad thing to happen in my life. When something's going well in their life, they're thinking, oh, when's it going to go wrong? 'Cause I know it's going to go wrong. I'm not a good person. I don't deserve these things. So things are going to go wrong. I'm waiting for it. Those are the kind of people you need to really make sure you're staying in pulse with, because they need you. And that's a great example of, and luckily he is smart enough to have guy friends in his life that can help pour into him. If he didn't, I'm not sure where he'd be. It's scary to think about that, because that happens all the time. I know it happens right now. Uh, so yeah, I think that's a good plug-in for DadSchooled.podcast.com. If you are feeling lonely, or like you just can't stand to be around anybody else, and you're doing everything wrong, please, DadSchoolPodcast.com, reach out to us. Fill out a contact form. Just scroll to the very bottom. You'll see our form. Email us. Tell us what's going on. We'll love to come alongside you and help you out. We'll love to be there for you. We'll pray with you. That's our commitment, is that we are there as well for our community.
Yeah, absolutely. If you need some advice,
good and bad.
That's right. We're happy to work through it either on air or off air. That's totally cool. But I love just hearing that story about your friend. I don't love getting to hear that a guy is struggling with that sort of stuff. But I love that he has a routine in place. Where is it every week or every other week you get together with these guys?
Yeah, we unless life gets in the way, but yeah, we try to every other week we get together.
Every other week, he has a routine in place where he gets to go just have a time with other guys, and they're playing a game. I mean, it's nothing consequential, life or death, so to speak. But it's fun, and it's something that you get to just go do something, blow off some steam, and you're sitting around having conversations, and doing something out of your normal routine. You got to break up that routine, that monotony, that sometimes just the trudgery of everyday life, the rat race, all these terms that pop into mind of life can be hard, and life can be exhausting sometimes. But when you can break that up, and especially if you have these opportunities where it's with other men of strong character, and you can build that into your routine, into your calendar, your schedule, and as simple as just a game night with guys. I had a bunch of friends in college that was every other weekend they would just hang out in the garage. One of the guys, the house he rented, they'd hang out in the garage and play Texas Hold'em, and that's just what they did. All the time. But it was a great time to just hang out. I never played. I'm not good at it. I don't have a good poker face, but I'd come and just hang out just so that I could be around some other guys and just have a good time, just being around some other dudes, and we just laugh it up. And then it seemed like after a handful of rounds, everyone would get bored of playing, and everyone would just sit around and just be talking about what's going on in each other's life. And that's what I was there for. And that's what I really, really enjoyed the most.
Definitely. And here, you might be thinking, I don't want to play board games. I don't want to play card games. Okay, fill in the blank. Let's not be hard-headed here. If you're a sports dude, find sports people. There are sports people out there that will go places with you, go to events. If you're a hunting guy, find a hunting buddy. If you're, there's just plenty of places, and there's plenty of activities and things to do with your newfound guy friends. You can go camping, fishing, all sorts of things that are manly, but you have to make sure to be very careful. You don't take these activities and make them an escape from problems. You need to be intentional about your time with your friend. You need to make, you can relax for sure. That's the whole point, and to empower each other. But you need to make sure you are empowering each other, and not just having problems and saying, "Oh, let's go to the lake over the weekend because my wife's mad at me again." That's maybe in a proper setting that might be okay, but you need to be careful. It's not an escape from your problems all the time. Mm-hmm. And responsibility. I guess that's a better way to put it. Escape from your responsibility as a dad and a husband. You can't be using a friend that way. You need to be using a friend to get godly advice from to help you with your struggles and problems. You need to have someone who encourages you to go to the Word and get involved in, in that lifestyle, not the I'll kick the can down the road and do this later lifestyle.
And isn't that such a fine line? It seems of
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting involved in all these other hobbies or doing these things because it feeds me and I'm able to experience this great time with another guy because it sharpens me,
Mm-hmm.
or it's an escape from my family and I just got to get away from them. And so I'm just gonna bounce. I'm gonna go do my thing. You guys go do your thing. I'm just checking out for a while. It could be the same event or same activity, but it's about where your heart is, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and you,
what?
you said it. It's the intent behind it. Like, are you escaping? And that's the thing. People can. I'm sure guys out there and wives probably hear this all the time. I'm gonna go do a Bible study with so and so. But then, are you really? Are you actually taking that to heart? Are you applying what you're learning? Are you coming back from that a better person? Or is it just some place to go eat pizza and talk about your problems and then you go home? Because that there's a like you said, there's a fine line. I've been a part of Bible studies in the past that turn into therapy sessions, and that's all it kind of ends up being. Or not even therapy sessions, complaining sessions where everyone comes to the event and we have our book and we sit down and we start talking about life's problems, and then people just talk about life's problems and give their own maybe advice or that's so rough back to their couple, and you leave that and there's no actionable items, there's no follow-up, there's nothing that you learn or grow from on that, and in the end it's just like I felt a little bit better by sharing it with somebody else, but that's about it. Nothing happened after that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we've been in small groups that I felt like uh, maybe we would be lucky if we actually broke open our study book that we were supposed to be
It's still in
gathering for,
plastic.
right? And sometimes it was just every other week was just gripe and complain about what's wrong with the church that we all attend, or like I've been in some of those groups over the years. Like, why are we in this group again?
Yeah.
um, but yeah, you have to take an honest assessment of look at your relationships. Are you the one that's leading these conversations in that direction? Then take assessment of yourself. Is there an opportunity for you to step up and help guide this in a direction that you know what, we gather together because we said we want to pray for each other and we want to be there for one another and we wanted to do this study. So everyone, let's put on our grown-up pants and let's get into this. That's what we're here for. Maybe the group just needed someone to take some leadership, and that might be on your shoulders this time. And maybe another time it's where you get to just go in and be fed and someone else can lead and someone else can pour in. But yeah, take assessment of where you're at, and it might be time to step up if you need to.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Well, um hmm. I think you're right on our pre-show conversation that if we are to dive in any deeper on this, it almost could be another episode.
It's going to be a whole nother conversation.
Okay. Well, we can put a bookmark on that and we can come back to it.
I see that bookmark. Yeah,
Yeah, right there.
sure.
I put that in there.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I think that might be it for today then. Do you have anything going on in your life that you would like to talk about or share? Are you guys all doing well?
Highlight, I get a haircut today.
Woo-hoo-hoo.
Oh my goodness.
You have
My
hair?
gal had the flu a couple weeks ago and it's just bad. And I can't rock. I've tried that look that you got going on. It does not work for me.
Yeah.
No.
It's
It
called
was
the military maintenance. I just don't even care to even change anymore. Just buzz and you're
uh-huh.
done.
Yeah. I wish.
What?
I have the wrong shaped head or something. I don't know. Like Charlie Brown looks good with it. I don't know what yeah.
I think I've ever seen you without a hat on, so that's interesting.
At church, I don't wear hats at church.
Okay, that's true. I gotta
But
think
that's
back
it.
now.
Outside of that, it's a hat almost every day.
Okay. Okay.
Because I'm just late. I hate fixing my hair. I can't buzz it,
Mm-hmm.
and then I hate fixing it. And I have like 15 hats. So grab a hat.
Yeah, we got man, life's busy right now. Just one thing after another. The weeks kind of all blur together. But looking forward to those milestones. Like I think in a couple months we have Teach 'em Diligently conference. Looking forward to that.
And soon.
Other than that, yeah, just work. I gotta find time to finish my bookshelves I've been doing with my wife.
We should awkwardly set up a table in the middle of the conference and record an episode there.
We'll be. It's a Wednesday, so
We'll just be in everyone's way.
I don't think the conference goes on through a Wednesday, but we can. It'll be like hotel. Like that's
We can
travel day for us.
pre-record.
Pre-record. I don't know. Let's talk about that. We might get some content for that event and post it here too. That'll be kind of fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll do something.
I think we should. Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining today. This is a little bit shorter than the hour and a half episode last week, but I think that's okay.
Yeah. It's healthy.
Yeah, healthy not to be on forever, droning on, and everyone's falling asleep and unsubscribing. Right. That's another good. And I can get better about these. So we are on. Let's see, YouTube, X, Facebook. Hopefully today. That's it. Yeah, that's the things.
That's
Twitch.
Yeah.
So if you are a frequent user of any of those platforms, please find us, like, subscribe, share with your friends. If you're a wife listening right now, which, it's okay. We cater to all audiences. It's up to them if they want to waste their time listening to something not relevant to them. But if they want to pass this on to your husband, that'd be perfect. And husbands, come be podcast bros with us. Broadcast? No, it's a different show. But yeah, like, subscribe, follow DadSchoolPodcast.com. Fill out a contact form. Stay up to date on anything with us by staying in touch with us. We'll try to. We don't really post much now. We don't have a newsletter or anything. But I tell you what, we get some larger community numbers going. We will post something. I guarantee it. You will not be.
Get on in here.
Yeah, you will not be disappointed. And even if you are, just keep on staying here.
Don't leave.
Don't leave. Okay. Yeah. Thanks for joining us today. We'll see you next week.
All right. See ya.